Now, tactical radio, I mean, this is the great thing about radio. It's fast turnaround medium. And if you've got a client like we have in Leonard, who's very brave and he's very up for exploiting radio for everything you can do in it. And, you know, there is something, as we heard from our earlier speakers as well, to be said about repetition, repetition, repetition. But when you don't have those same kind of budgets, you can use radio as a tactical opportunity to actually leverage and piggyback on other brands. And once again, you know, FNB Steve's a brilliant campaign in terms of you know, of getting FNB's brand out there and everything the brand has to offer. But there was also a feeling that maybe there'd been a bit too much repetition. And we decided what would happen if Frank actually phoned Steve.
Hello, this is Steve from the bank.
Steve from Bleep Bank. People don't like you very much. In fact, some people want you dead.
Seriously? I'm just trying to do my job.
Saying it's your job doesn't make it okay, Steve. I suggest you consider life cover from Frank. If you die, you can leave behind up to 10 million rand cash for your family and friends. If you have any friends, Steve.
But I don't want to die.
To get a quote, SMS Frank to 43001.
Frank to 43001.
SMS rates and T's and C's apply. Frank.net is a licensed financial services provider.
And FNB were awesome about it. They only asked us to pull the material after 2 weeks, so that was great. So you got tactical opportunities when it comes to radio, but there are also opportunities in absolutely everything. And you know, we got called by the guys at 702, I think it was on the Monday, or we got an email and said, you know, we're doing a live read feature at in the studio in front of a live studio audience at 702. And you know, Frank's been one of the standout voices for radio for the year. And would you guys be interested in having your voiceover come up and, you know, just do a live read, and we'll get the audience to try and try guess, you know, what brand it is with the voice. And it came into the creative department, and I gave it to one of our writers, and he said, yeah, no, it's just a live read. Let's just get it out. Let's just get it out. You know, I said to the guy, this is actually an opportunity. And he said, but it's going to feel weird, you know, reading a radio ad live. What's the point? And I said, dude, this is an opportunity here. It's a live read. Let's see what we can do. And this is what we ended up doing.
And now, another one of those catchy live ads. And while the artist looks fairly normal, turn around, let me see. He looks fairly normal. You should all recognize this voice, and you will recognize this voice. Now, the ad is for South Africa's fastest growing life investment company and a recent winner of a Gold Apex Award 2012. And I personally am looking forward to seeing how this ad gets voiced. And it was, just for your benefit, it was one of Andy's zeros of the week a short while ago.
I think it was a public zero rather than my zero.
Was it? I thought it was very personal.
Listen, I've got to get out of here alive.
All right, now you're going to recognize the voice.
Hi, I'm the voice of Frank.net. Right now, I'm performing in front of a live studio audience, and I'm going to do something that may actually get me strangled live on air. But that's okay, because I have live cover from Frank.net. I'm going to give you Andy Rice's personal phone number. It's 082-900-3214. Give it a call any hour of the day and tell Andy what you think of his show or what ads you don't like. Or make suggestions. He loves those.
So it's a lovely...
I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I bet nobody puts the face to the voice, do they?
It was a lovely example of making the most of your opportunities on radio, and Andy was a great sport as well. He said his phone started ringing live on air right there and then, which was lovely. It's an interesting thing with this Frank brand. You know, we went out there and we know that life insurance is a very low interest category. It's too easy to ignore, and that's why, you know, a lot of these ads out there that use the Labrador puppies in slow motion, that they fail to make an impact. And we knew we just had to cut through the clutter and grab people's attention. And at the same time, we were very clear with our client that there are going to be people who aren't comfortable with this tone of voice. I have a theory on it. I think with a talk radio show, listeners are maybe a little bit older and they don't like to think about the subject that much as much as maybe the listeners on Highveld who might be a bit younger. And my mom actually, she hates Frank. She listens to talk radio, and she says, how can you talk about these things? And his voice is so invasive. And I say, yeah, Mom, that's the point. And then I change the subject to talk about the cricket or something, so we can move on. But they're always going to be, when you're trying something different, they're always going to be the naysayers and the detractors. But in those things, there are always opportunities once again. So we had some callers calling in, actually complaining about Frank's tone of voice. And once again, I phoned up our client, Len, and I said, this is an opportunity once again. How can we leverage this for ourselves and turn it into a win for the brand?
Frank.net recently ran a successful direct response radio campaign on several national stations. While the campaign was well received by most, a few 702 listeners took exception and phoned in to Andy Rice's marketing show to complain about Frank's tone of voice.
Hi, Frank.net. That's the first time I've heard that ad, and believe me, that sounds horrible.
Okay, Gerald, thank you. Kobus, hi there, Kobus.
Hi, Jenny, how are you?
Very good.
Always good. Listen, I think that Frank advert is terrible. In two ways. The voice is absolutely horrendous. And then
We responded by running this tactical campaign a week later.
I've heard a few listeners on this station don't like my voice. They've even called in to complain, which might end up costing me my job. Luckily, I have salary protection from Frank.net, so I can still get up to 75% of my salary if I get retrenched, which means I can take some time off and work on my voice, maybe with a Hollywood voice coach in Mauritius. To get a quote, SMS Frank to 43002. That's Frank to 43002. Standard SMS rates and T's and C's apply. Frank.net is a registered financial services provider.